Good evening, Madam Chairwoman and members of the committee. My name is Elizabeth Burke Bryant, and I'm here today to voice the support of Rhode Island Kids Count for 4 of the bills before you this evening. First, I'd like to start with S-2289, which is sponsored by Senator Metz, co-sponsored by Senator Golden, Quesada, Crowley, and Calkin. This bill would provide that only peace officers be permitted to carry firearms or other weapons on school grounds. We are in support of this bill because we are concerned that Rhode Island is an outlier in this particular area where, according to the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence, Rhode Island is only one of 8 states that allows concealed carry permit holders to carry firearms in K through 12 schools. We are concerned that teachers, principals, nurses, coaches, custodians, or anyone else with a permit to carry a concealed weapon can legally bring their gun on school grounds under current Rhode Island law. We are concerned that a weapon could accidentally or intentionally be accessed or fired by a student, teacher, or other school personnel, and think that the presence of guns in schools makes students less safe and increases the likelihood that tragedy could occur as the result of an accidental, intentional, or self-inflicted shooting. For these reasons, we urge you to bring Rhode Island in line with our neighbors, Massachusetts and Connecticut, and most other states in the country, and pass Senate Bill 2289 to keep guns out of schools. The next bill I would like to provide our support for is S-2492. That is the bill that would provide Superior Court with the authority to issue extreme risk protection orders when the court finds the subject of the order is in imminent danger to cause personal injury to self or others by having access to a firearm and requiring the individual identified in the order to surrender all firearms. This is one of the bills that is getting a lot of attention both in Rhode Island and nationally. While the Florida shooting has led to a heightened sense of urgency for a public policy response to gun violence, the issue of mental health issues and keeping guns out of the hands of people that have been determined as the subject of an extreme risk protection order is being considered by several states. The issue of gun violence hits home in Rhode Island. Our data shows that in Rhode Island between 2011 and 2015, there were 168 emergency department visits, 61 hospitalizations, and 12 deaths of children and youth under age 20 related to firearms. Senate Bill 2492 makes significant strides to strengthen public safety and identify opportunities to flag individuals who may be in need of intervention. Finally, we support S-2493. S-2493, which is sponsored by Senator Miller, which would restrict the use of ammunition feeding devices capable of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition, as well as S-2292, which is the bill that is sponsored by Senator, I've just lost my place, sorry about that. I'm sorry. 70 for sponsoring this bill, and we respectfully ask your support for this bill as well. We believe it's important in terms of preventing gun violence, and we urge your support for this bill. This is a kids and youth and families issue. We thank you for your attention tonight, and that concludes my testimony.
Thank you, Ms. Bryant. Are there any questions for this witness? Before we move on to Mr. O'Neill, I just want to say that I appreciate Mr. DeLauro's comments and the thoroughness of his analysis. Before we move on to any other testimony, I want to say that I really appreciate Mr. DeLauro's thorough analysis of the red flag bill. I signed as a co-sponsor, but there are issues with the standard. People that openly talked about how there are certain issues that will need to be tweaked with this bill before it's adjusted. And I think Mr. DeLauro's hit almost every one of them that I had in my mind. So anyway.